Hi, good morning. Great to see you. It is Thursday morning. On Thursday mornings, I love to do a sales skills training class. I'm so thrilled that you're here to join me. On Thursday, sometimes I have the locker room presenting the topic, and that's what I'm doing today. The locker room is our team of trainers, and they're amazing. And if you've not explored the locker room classes, feel free to reach out to me and I'll get you connected. But without much further ado, I know she's already started. I'm going to go ahead and plug us into her. So let me go ahead and connect her up. Oh,
down the middle. I use what is called a listing option menu. Do you like choices given to you? Do you want to feel like as a consumer that you're in control? You want to be given option A, B, or C, and you want to be able to pick the option that works best for you as a consumer. And so we took the psychology behind that. I dumped it into a listing option menu. When I do my pre-listing packet, who here does a pre-listing packet? Everybody? Yep. When do you drop the pre-listing packet off? 3 days, 2 days, 4 days, a couple days beforehand. In this pre-listing packet, some of the items that I include, of course, your competitive market comparable market analysis, any neighborhood stats or infos, your resume, your professional designations, any reviews, etc. Seller's homework, your agency disclosures, and then I also put in my listing option menu. So what is a listing option menu? Amy, are you able to share that on the screen for me?
Headquarters, can you guys make me a co-host so I can share something? Otherwise, I can just drop it in the chat.
You can drop it in the chat for everybody to have a copy as well. Y'all, this menu is magic, like magic. While they're working on that, I'm going to continue to chat. All right, so here we go. This is the magic menu. So there's some psychology behind the verbiage that I use on this listing option menu. One, you can see in red that they get to choose. The seller gets to choose which package that they would like to choose for you to sell their house. So I built this menu out. You can build your own out, whatever you offer in your market, in your area, whatever works for you, okay? You can change the percentages. This is just what we use at England Volkers Baton Rouge, and I'm sharing it with you because it's magic, and you guys are going to be incredibly mind blown when you start to implement and use this. So, all right, if you notice on the percentages, it says basic, classic, and ultimate. Those are the three packages that we offer. We start at 6, we go to 7, and we go to 8. So let's look at the basic package. Who wants to be basic? Nobody wants to be basic. That's your basic package. Classic is the wording leads you to believe that that's just the classic package that everybody tends to go with. And then there are the people out there that are super bougie and they would never choose anything but the ultimate package, period. And we've seen it in the disc profile types on the different type of sellers that we have. And these words are super important psychologically, because like I just said, who wants to be basic? Now, typically, men don't care. They're like, give me the 6%, we're good all day long, right? It's just a $250,000 house. I don't need drone. I don't need walkthrough. I just need you to sell my house, 6%. Great, let's sign the paper. Classic. So if we're sitting at the table and I go the next day or 2 days later, we get there, we get the paperwork out. I pull out the listing option menu. I'm like, which option did you choose? And I shut up. I just shut up. I don't say anything else. They'll psychologically walk through it with you. Well, I think we need a little better than the basic package. So I think we want to go with the classic. Great, let's get it signed up today. You go on to the next thing. You don't focus on it. You just move on to the next thing. You get your paperwork signed and you seal the deal. Okay, start your MLS input sheet, start your property disclosure, your listing agreement, and you move on to the next thing. Once they make that decision, the 6, 7, or 8, you got the listing, close the deal. Don't say anything else. Don't talk yourself out of it. All right. If you want to scroll up, well, let's stay on this page for a minute. So on this page, you can see that we offer a variety of services. Most of this is stuff that we do anyways, but the general public, they don't know what we do, right? They just think there were highly paid beauty queens or Barbies. I don't know. So this is what we do on a daily basis anyway. So when you put it in writing, it really promotes your value proposition, right? They don't know that we do all this. They don't know that there's 40 people involved in a real estate transaction. They don't know where their money's going, right? So this is your opportunity to showcase what you do. And there's no argument. You're not going to get a 1% listing building this menu out. There's no way a person offering 1% could afford to market the listing like this listing option menu lays out before them. So 6-month listing agreement is in the basic package. Yay. Enter it into the MLS. We do that anyways. Global marketing initiatives. There's lots of companies that have a global footprint. Branded sign, you're going to do that anyways. Professional photo shoot, you should always do that anyways. No iPhone pictures. Super lock box. Some do basic lock boxes, some do super lock boxes. We choose to do a super lock box. So if you wanted to change this, change that. A broker's price opinion. You're out there doing a CMA anyways. Broker's price opinion. You want your broker to look over it, have your broker look over it. Advertise listing on social media. You should be doing that anyways. 7, 14, and 21 day assessment. And my seller's homework on the back page, they commit that if we don't get any showings in 7 days or 14 days or 21 days, we're reevaluating the market position of that home. Schedule a showing time schedule. We do that anyways, but they don't know what all of this is. It just looks like we have this huge list of menu items and we're putting it down on paper, and it's a huge value proposition. You want to go to the next page because all this is just your basic. Great. So this is where the 7% comes in. Vision motion photo tour, open house and circle prospecting, weekly analytic call, weekly showing time feedback, a marketing coordinator, professional property flyers, contractor management, appraisal negotiations. That's what you get for 7%. Great. We should all be doing that anyways, right? All right. So then we go to 8%. They get Google ad and Bing advertisements. You can drop some money behind a single website that has their home on it, a custom video tour, virtual staging, or professional staging consultation. I don't know how much professional staging costs in your neck of the woods, but it's about a $200 consultation fee here. If you're going to choose 8% with me, I'm going to take $200. We're going to get a professional stager in there, or we can do virtual staging. Seasonal exterior photo refresh. It's really hot outside right now. My grass is brown. We're in the hottest month of the year. Let's just say that I wanted green grass come spring, and my house was still on the market. I'm going to give them new pictures. Hopefully it's not still on the market, but if it is and you're in between seasons, you're going to get a seasonal refresh. Database prospecting. You should be doing that anyways, but they don't know that. I have 10,000 people in my database, and they're going to have access to it, and I'm going to send their house to everybody in my database. Aerial drone photography, seller's home warranty, $550. If you list with me for 8%, I'm going to pay for that seller's home warranty that's transferable to the buyer. Again, a value proposition. Professional home cleaning. I want the house cleaned before it goes on the market. Sometimes I even do lawn care. Instead of the home warranty, I might add a pre-listing appraisal or a pre-listing inspection. It just depends, but that 8% will give you a lot. So I get an 8% listing, which we get them all the time. And I put 2.5 into the MLS. What am I bringing home?
My favorite trends this season are a tailored loafer and a little black.
I apologize. I don't know what just happened to our team.
Black boot. I love a classic loafer with fresh details,
Let me see if I
like
can
this
get that
chunky
back. There we go.
What am I bringing home? Right? So that's how our average per site is 3.6. We're teaching them on the front end, the buyer agency and the exclusive right to represent. We're teaching them how to secure their bag on the front end. And then on the back end, we're teaching them how to go get 6, 7, and 8% listings. I haven't pushed it to 9, but I'm not opposed to doing it, and we could probably get it actually. I just have to build that menu out. So are there any questions? Can they ask questions verbally, Amy? How does that work? Jay?
Yep, they just have to mute themselves and ask. And I have dropped that listing option menu in the chat for you guys.
Would y'all like a copy of our exclusive right to represent? I'm not sure if your state or board offers it, but you can have it as a sample of what we use. Would you like a copy of that as well?
I was going to ask that. You said, you mentioned something about the back of your listing and or your agreement and what it said. That'd be awesome. Our state, we have to have our forms that are state compliant, but we can always do an addendum to it.
There you go. So that'll give you the verbiage to do so. These forms are magic. We get our exclusive right to represent signed when we have our first substantial meeting and we're getting our agency disclosure signed. It's just part of it. You sit down and you have a buyer's consultation, you get done and you get those signed. That way, when they click on a Zillow ad and that Zillow agent calls them, they say, are you currently working with the realtor? Well, yeah, kind of. Well, have you signed anything? Yeah, they signed something. They're under contract with me. I exclusively represent them. And so that's going to protect you. We've seen more procuring cause cases the last couple months this year than I have in my whole career. It's like dog eat dog out there right now. Any questions? Nathan, you have any questions?
I think Cheyenne, I just saw her hand up just a second ago. Cheyenne, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. So I just wanted to ask for clarification on the listing option menu at the bottom with the professional clean. That's something that the agent's going to pay for, right? Since they're giving us 8%, we're going to go ahead and pay that up front, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
And look, if they say, well, look, I don't really need a warranty, great. You know, if it's a unique home, it has 20 acres, maybe it had a couple additions, I would do a pre-listing appraisal possibly, or even a pre-listing home inspection. So you can scratch this out, add what you want, take away what you want. You can create this and make this your own. And yes, if you do the 8%, the listing agent is responsible for paying for all that. So when you see in all those lab coat agents and all those posts of why the listing agent takes home more money than the buyer's agent, I'm not going to share my listing option menu with them, but I give a lot. I give them white glove service, right? I am not a discount broker. I am not a discount agent. I will not cut your throat. I will show you what I offer. I will work very hard and hustle to get it done. And you will be very, very satisfied. So you have to do this with confidence also. If you see them looking at that listing option menu, again, they choose it, shut up, just close your mouth. Don't overtalk yourself. That's the hardest thing to teach though, because you're getting excited. You want to overtalk, you want to interject, but you don't. You just slide it to them and ask them, which option did you choose today? And let them choose. I was really nervous when I started using this. I was going to a friend's house to list her property. And I was thinking to myself, I would take 5 for her. She's super sweet, right? I get there and I open her package with her. And I said, well, have you and your husband had a chance to look over everything? She says, yeah. I'm like, great. Which option did you choose? She's like, oh, we want the 7%. I almost gave 2% away because she was my friend. And I psyched myself up on the way over there, right? Like, why would I do that? So by creating this, I just earned an additional 2%. And look, when we're talking about commissions with sellers and you're up against other agents, right? They've interviewed 2 or 3 other agents. You think they're dropping this listing packet off? You think they're building the value proposition like you're building? They're not. They're not doing it. Nobody in my market is doing it. We are crushing it. Where's my team at on the screen? Exactly. They love it. Like incredible, right? So I wanted to share that with you. I've shared it with Amy over the last, I don't know, 6 or 8 months, and what we're doing. Even in a market shift, we're still driving that bottom line higher and higher and higher. And we do a lot of hands-on training. We have to help the agents build a I didn't know how to list a house for the first 4 years of my career because my broker did not teach me how to do that. Listings dominate the market. They dominate market share. You typically have control. You could pick up buyers from it. Like listings is where the money is at. And if that listing option menu just didn't build that for you and show that for you, I don't know. Who on the call is a listing agent primarily? This is right there. Devin, do you see value in this?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just texted my main broker and said, if you're not on this call, we need to discuss this.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys are going to start making so much more money. Like when I first put it into play, I was like a little kid in a candy store. I'm like, holy crap. Why didn't I never do this before? Right? How about you, Brent?
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely perfect. And I can see actually asking them, posing the questions. What do you want your listing agent to do? Lead them
Right.
right into this list of this menu of services. So I love it.
Yeah. And sometimes, you get that SC and they want to dig down into it a little. If you're familiar with the disc profiles, which you should be because you coach for locker room. So if you know your seller's disc profile in S and C, they tend to want to dig down and get down into the nitty gritty. Well, you can teach them what, that seller's warranty would look like for them. House is on the market, hot water heater burst, AC goes out. It's 100 degrees outside. Their AC goes out. They don't have to pay the money to get it repaired. They pay that little bit of money and have the HVAC company come out and repair it. They don't have to come out of pocket. If you are a listing agent, please try to get your sellers to put a warranty on their house. It really helps through inspection negotiation as well, right? Nathan, you have anything to add to that?
I have so much to add to this.
All right, let's go.
So one of the questions that actually comes up for me, and you and I've had conversations around profit and stuff. So do y'all actually know, or do y'all track like your ROI based on like the 6, 7, and 8? Do you know what the cost is to take a listing? Have y'all ever
No.
done that?
Not versus the 6, 7, or 8. I
Okay.
haven't broken it down yet. No.
So I used to do, I used to do something very similar with the 6, 7, and 8, and I could actually show them the cost that, hey, here's what it cost me to list at 6. Here's what it cost me to list at 7. Here's what it cost me to list at 8, and how much I am personally investing before I ever get paid. And so for me, what it allowed me to actually do was actually turn sellers away because they weren't motivated enough to go with the 8 to actually sell their property.
I like it. You have
So-
a format or a spreadsheet or something you use to calculate that?
I did not. All I did basically was like all those additional services at the very bottom. I just said, okay, drone photography cost me an extra $200. Home cleaning cost me $300. I had a staging agreement that was $100. So I would just list out all those things,
Right.
and then it said, I have a budget for Google ads of $300 or whatever it might be. So I would just list it out that way.
Yeah, I haven't really been pinpointed like that. I just say it's thousands of dollars on the 8% because it truly is. If I'm doing a video walkthrough with voiceover, drone photography, aerial, dropping money on Google AdWords, doing postcards and flyers, we know that it's going to be over $1,000, right?
Yeah. And
So,
for me, it was a way to make a business decision. And I didn't always disclose all the costs that went into that. But for me, it was a way for me to make a decision. Do I actually want this listing or not?
right,
So-
right. I like it. Cheyenne, take note. Cheyenne, your hands raised.
Yes, fam, I have that noted. But I wanted to ask more on the exclusive right. I noticed not many people raise their hands being a listing agent. So I kind of wanted to ask the question that I'm sure everybody's wondering. How do you get them comfortable enough to agree to that commission on the exclusive right when you don't have the list of things that you provide, such as the listing option menu?
Well, if you look at the exclusive right to represent, they are hiring you to find them a house. And if you're doing your buyer's presentation, you're building that value right there, because buying a home is very, very overwhelming, right? There's many, many parties to the contract, to the deal. And so I think if you're sitting down getting this signed during your buyer's consultation, the value proposition is built in. Cassie?
5,000 years of Chinese music and dance in one night. A spectacle. Visually dazzling.
Hey, Cassie,
You're
you're
muted.
muted.
I thank you so much, Amanda. This has been great so far. I did want to ask, and kind of similar to what Nathan was saying, like if you feel that you may not get that level of cooperation, or they're not going to come through on pricing, or agreeing to adjust the price to make it competitive, like, are you still taking the 8% if they go that route, knowing for whatever reason there may be a possibility it won't sell, but you're going to be increasing your upfront costs?
So yeah, Nathan, I see how you're tying that in there. So yes, in my seller's homework, I also have a little contract on the back end, and I'm happy to send that to y'all sidebar. I'll send it to Amy or Jake for everybody's, or yeah, for y'all to circulate. On my seller's homework on the back page, they just agree 7, 14, 21 days that if they don't get any offers or any showings, that's indicative of how the house is priced, right? So I do go in and try to educate them on their neighborhood, their market, where they should be priced at. And let's just say it's 300,000 is where I feel like it needs to be. I gave them the comps, I gave them the backup, and they're like, well, we painted and we added new hardware and we added ceiling fans. We want to get 325. Baby, that's not going to get you 325. So I just need you to understand that we'll try it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but we're going to psychologically go on a journey together, 7, 14, and 21 days. And if in 21 days we have no showings and no offers, you agree to put it at my price that I recommended, because you're hiring me to sell your house and I don't get paid unless we transact. I've also done it where I've built it in on the listing and marketing agreement and other provisions that should they cancel the agreement out of the allotted 180 days, that they are, I won't cancel it. I'm the broker. I'm not going to terminate the agreement unless they repay me all of my marketing fees up to X amount of dollars, right? Up to $1,500 or whatever it is. So I do put a blanket clause in the listing and marketing agreement for that. Yes. Great question though. Anybody else have questions? I'm gonna call on somebody. Stephanie Moore.
No, I don't have a question.
No? What's
No,
your takeaway from today?
Honestly, it's an eye opener. Because I've never thought of it that way. Like never thought of doing it that way. Especially the last part you said, about putting a clause in there for, getting back money that you put out. Instead of just kind of taking that as a loss. So that was an eye opener for me.
Yeah, it's business, you guys. Like, you got to run your business like a business. I had a call the other day, and we have about 65 agents. It's a lot. Like, we have grown exponentially in the last year or so. I had a call the other day from a seller that says, hey, I'm dissatisfied with the listing agent, blah, blah. She went in to build her case, and she wanted me to terminate her listing agreement as the broker. I said, ma'am, I said, do me a favor, give me 15 or 20 minutes. Let me do some research, and I will call you back with a plan of action. I'm solution-based mindset. We're going to come to an agreement. We're going to work this out. We're all going to be happy. So I did. And my listing agent did drop the ball. She went and got a full-time job, and she kind of let this listing fall to the side. So I reassigned the contract to my number one agent in the brokerage, and got it under contract within 24 hours. That's how that worked. So she is super duper happy. But I reassigned, I didn't let it go. I'm not terminating your contract. Like, that's not what we're doing. So as the broker, I just reassigned it, and it worked out. Don't always work out that well, but it did work out this time. So the market's different. We're working super hard for deals that were just low hanging fruit the year before last. Right. And so we're duct taping deals. I've seen a lot more deals cancel, procuring cause issues. We've just seen all kinds of things. What else, Zach? What else have we seen lately? I don't think he can talk. Kathy. Leon Spurberger. How did I mess it up? You have any comments or questions?
Not really. I have started seeing the 0% fire agency commission on some of, not very often, but I have started seeing it. I'm in Pennsylvania. So it is definitely something to be aware of.
Yeah, it is it's concerning. It's like a little red flag up here. So we're solution-based mindset, we're negotiators, we're professionals. And so we have to find a resolution and how all parties can work together in the transactions, right? Thank you. Hello, Mr. Chuck Wells.
Hello, hello.
Any questions or comments?
No questions. I love the idea of the options, and it also took me back to been working with a group of agents recently. There's a guy named Phil Phil M. Jones, and he has a book of exactly what to say, and it's some sales techniques. And when you talk about the options, he says, always leave the option you truly want them to, that's going to benefit you the most and you really want them to take. Make sure that's number 3. And he said, because it's just human nature a lot of times that they'll take that one. But I love that. I mean, and I love that it's working well for you. And it's just like you said, it's like toot our own horn, tell everyone what we're doing and how much of what we're doing, and that we deserve, the pay in return.
We do. We absolutely do. We have to, with all these discount brokerages coming out there doing limited listing services for $500, it's really devaluing our profession. And so we have to figure out how to elevate it. We're in the relationship business. A relationship business, $500 limited service. That's not creating relationships, right? And so, it might work for somebody and I'm happy for them. It's just not my business model, right? So if it works for them, it works for them. It just doesn't work for me. And personally, I wouldn't want that particular service to sell my personal home. I want to sell my home and I want to get highest and best dollar, right? I don't want to stick it in the MLS and call it a day and hope that it sells. Yeah.
Definitely. And Amanda, just kudos to you as a leader for getting like your whole organization on board with this, and really from day one, training and teaching them and developing them to be great business owners, as well. And so they don't have to learn 10 years from now. I mean, you're diving in there and working as a whole organization.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck. How about you, Wayne? You have any questions or comments? Beakley?
No, I like it. I haven't really seen it spelled out quite this way. I love the list. I was wondering, what's the difference between the first set of photos you listed and then later on professional photos?
Oh, it might be an oversight. I have to go back and look at it.
But no, I love the idea of kind of giving them options and letting them see the difference between what they're paying for. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when you're sitting down at that kitchen table or wherever you're sitting down with them and you see that they really like what's in package, the classic package. Most people pick the classic package with us. I think it's the verbiage. I know, Chuck, you said the third one, but most people do pick classic because they figure that's the classic one. That's what everybody goes with. If I see they're on the fence or I'm up against other agents, I'll say, how about this? Let's go ahead and get everything signed. I'm going to go ahead and give you the 7% package for 6%, and we can go ahead and button this up today. How does that sound? Close the deal and let's go. I usually can tell and feed off their energy on where they're weighing at. They're like, all right, let's get it done. I like it.
Wayne, were you talking about this one where it says professional property flyers?
No, I was talking about, let me see here. Yeah, on the first one, okay, professional photo shoot, 15, 25, 25, and Twilight. And then on the second page, wasn't there another one that said?
I think it's the property flyers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I guess that is it. Yeah, I misunderstood that.
Yeah, I was like,
I've noticed in talking to some friends in other states how different, like in my market, It's not very common that realtors pay for staging. Whereas I was talking to somebody in another state that says she pays for staging and things like that. I'd never heard of anybody offering the an agent to pay for a home warranty. That's a discussion I've had, and in this market, nobody's asking for that. In this seller's market, in popular areas, there's still enough demand. But yeah, I find it interesting how that varies by state.
Yeah, it sure does. Without a doubt. And look, I've never paid for staging because it can get really expensive. $2,000 a month for a full household of furniture on a luxury home. I do pay for the initial consultation fee at times, 175, 200, depending on the square foot of the house. If I give her more than 3 a month, it's like 100, 125. So find your vendor partners, right? Find them and work on pricing for that. Your professional housekeepers, your warranty companies. Some warranty companies will give back the agent $50 or $100. There's a marketing agreement that goes with that, though. It's not kickbacks. There's a marketing agreement. Let me just put that out there.
What is the consultation fee on staging? I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, it's where you have a professional home stager go into the home with you and consult with that seller on what needs to be done in the home to get it get the highest and best price for that home in the market. And so you see it typically, in our market, $1 million is luxury, like $800,000 is luxury. Our average sales price is about $250,000. And so, $750,000 home, $600,000 home, I would do a consultation on staging. Would I do it on a $250,000 home? No, I would not. So again, it just matters the type of home you're dealing with also. Now, I have had an 8% on a $250,000 listing, and I couldn't give it all to her, and she was okay with it. She just wanted certain parts of it. So, all right, that's what you want. That's what we'll give to you. But she knew it. Jake, you have your hand up?
Sally had it up before me.
Okay. Sally?
Well, I was just going to ask about the 7, 14, 21 day. So those are the times that you reanalyze like the list price. And a second question to that is in markets that are kind of slowing down right now, where, homes are staying a little bit longer on the market. What would be the recommendation there? Like if you started off a little bit high?
Yeah, I would still do 7, 14, and 21. A house could sell, a new house could come on the market, and we reevaluate at that time. If there's no changes, then there's no changes, right? But I still want to scrub it down and look at the market 7, 14, and 21. I don't typically get really, I don't want to say nervous, but at about the 21 day mark, I'm like, we need to make a change. Like we're going to have to reevaluate and reposition your home with current market conditions. I recommended $300,000 going into it. You're at 325. Nothing substantiates that. We agreed when your seller homework, you signed off that you agreed to go down to my price. I've reevaluated it. It's still at $300,000. So I'm going to go ahead and send that amendment over. Power of assumption.
And you could even take that one step forward and have them sign an actual addendum or an amendment agreeing to that price change so that it's just at that 7 day, you've already signed this, I'm submitting this changes, you've already agreed to it in the contract.
I have found here, Sally, that's a great question, that the market has slowed down, and it's about, I think our average days on market is about 32 for their brokerage right now, which is still really good because in the market in general, it's about 58, 57, something like that. So I think by staying on that 7, 14, 21, coming up with that action plan and communicating with them and them feeling that energy, I think it really helps sell the house. Plus, we just did an incredible open house contest. Heck yeah, to all of our agents. And I gave away a PS5 for the agent. They got to go into a drawing for every open house that they hosted. And we did 48 in 60 days. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And so, sellers are seeing our signs, seeing our advertising, like it's an incredible buzz in the market. So we have more listings than we have agents. in the brokerage. And we're rolling out with bingo this month because school started last month. So we're doing bingo this month. I love all your contests, Jake, by the way. I think they're incredible. We need some new ones.
We can do that. We can definitely come up with some new ones. Can I jump in here since I just unmuted myself then?
Yes.
And then I see Shanta. All right. So as you mentioned earlier, you kind of put out the disclaimer, right? Rightfully so, because people get kind of weird on a sensitive topic like commissions and all that stuff. So I'm doing the same. I can hear it now. And I'm just trying to play offense with my disclaimer, given that we have so many different brokerages represented here. A lot of the broker owners listening to this right now. I don't even really know my question other than if I'm listening to this and I've got 65 agents going back, running to their broker right now saying, I just heard this on a locker room call, pretty pleased with sugar on top, can we do this? And I start feeling those questions, could you maybe speak from a broker to another broker? Why should I entertain this? Why should I not entertain this? Because I have to respect that there's all different compensation plans and philosophies represented here at the locker room.
Right. Absolutely. Great question. So I get excited. Anything that's going to add value to my business, I kind of get excited. I'll try it. If it works, it works. It's great. I have the power that if it don't work, we're just going to shift gears and go the other way. I have to see it in action to really get it, understand it, bite-sized pieces, chew it up, swallow it. When I saw it in action and I'm like, oh my God, this is magic, right? Like, why haven't I ever been using this? It builds your agent's confidence, right? And so take away the number signs out of that listing option menu. Put whatever you want in there. If you're a 1% list and you do this and that or the other, incorporate it somehow. I don't know what you do. I don't know what your business model is. And there was no way to really show this today without adding those percentages. But this is what we do. I'm not saying for you guys to go do it. Review it, break it down, see how you can make it work for you. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Take the good out of it, leave it to the side. Either way. Not trying to run your brokerage. I promise I have enough on my hands.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking to that.
Yeah. Shanta?
Hey, it's Shanta. But thank you so much. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Amanda, this is a game changer. We just had a sales meeting today. And the reality is that this market is going to separate the unskilled from the skilled. Point blank. What people were doing during the COVID period, you can no longer do. People who are buying and selling right now have to. And so that comes with a lot of anxiety. It comes with a lot of anxiousness. And if our agents have your tool that they can go in and say, look, this is what I offer. You're setting expectations. That menu of services does so much. I love that it deals with price changes. It deals with setting expectations. It deals with confidence. So they feel like, man, I got an agent who knows what to do. And so this speaks volume. And so I definitely downloaded it. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to be starting something new. I saw it someplace else in another Facebook group or whatever. There was a brokerage, and it might even been here in Locker Room, that they challenged themselves to do 100 listing appointments. Did you guys hear about that? And so I thought that was extraordinary. I mean, so this is right on time, because not only would this give you confidence, it could possibly change your career.
It really could. It really could. And I like your comment in regards to this separates the skilled from the unskilled, because every time I see one of those posts where the BA, the buyer's agent, they got the closing disclosure and they are just fit to be tied. Again, skilled and unskilled.
Right. Like, where did that even come from? Like, why? This has been going on for years. They just now saw a disclosure statement.
Well, Well, we're talking about the commission difference between the listing agent and the buyer.
No, no, I
agent.
understand that, but here in North Carolina, that has been the case. The listing agent definitely sets, they're the ones who negotiated it, so they are the ones who definitely have the right to set how much you're going to get. So
Right.
that should be commonplace. I don't know why there's an uproar now. Is my thought.
I don't know. I just teach a little different. We have, collaboration over competition. We have an abundance mindset, and, we're solution-based mindset. We see this big NAR thing going on. We see buyers compensation, buyers compensation are going to start coming from the buyers. And so how do we get ahead of that? So when that first started coming down the pipeline, I don't know.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop that connection. I hope that this was super helpful for you. Any takeaways? Any takeaways? What did you think of that menu that she was proposing? All right, not hearing anybody here. I'm going to go ahead and continue this conversation with you about how we can elevate our value, our service, and perhaps even our earnings. So reach out to me if you have any questions. All right, it's Risa Weiss-Kellis. Great to see you, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.